people have talked. I mean, not as much now because it's gotten huge. They're really, if you get on too many mailing lists, you can literally receive hundreds and hundreds of emails per day, and you can crash your system and everything else. I'm on probably about 3 mailing lists, but I don't post. I just lurk.
There's also another topic on the fan forum that's called XPA. It stands for X-Files Anonymous.
Membership is open to anybody. All you have to do is come onto that particular webpage and say why you are addicted to the X-Files.
And every time you go in there, you always see something that says, you need XPA when. And someone will list all the reasons. You have to set the both VCRs. You have to be home at 9 o'clock. You won't answer the phone. You send the kids to bed.
But everyone who joins is assigned a number, a 5-digit number from an episode.
And the case number is a number that appears somewhere randomly throughout an episode. They usually give you a hint of what season it comes from. And you have to, well, you don't have to, but it's fun to try to figure out what the number means, what the significance of it, and which episode it applies to.
I was assigning numbers for a while, but it just got overwhelming because there was so many people.
I figured mine out about 2 weeks after I got it. I had to view about half of the season that they told me.
For about a tenth of a second at the beginning of the episode, there is a sign that says, "Welcome to Comedy, New Hampshire, population 38,825. So that's my number.
The person who was giving out the number promised me I could have a number that was associated with Mulder, because she knew I was a David Mulder fan. And it turned out that it was the first 5 digits of his cell phone number in an episode that was called Fire, and you don't actually see the number written anywhere or spoken anywhere. You actually see Scully dial the number on her cell phone. So I had to rewind and play about 20 times to make sure that it was the right number, but it was.
That's the coolness. That is the coolness of this thing. And the show, I like the show. If the show stopped tomorrow, would this continue? I don't know. I like to think it would. But it's the fans. It's the fileness of the whole thing.
I heard there was an online fan appreciation night, a virtual party the other night on somebody's website, which I thought was kind of interesting.
First season, I get a call, "Oh, you got this audition for this X-Files thing." Well, what's that? FBI agents chasing aliens and stuff. And I go, yeah, that's gonna go somewhere. Whoa, that show's got no hope whatsoever.
I didn't know anything about the series. I thought, when I heard about it, I thought it was a stupid idea. Oh, FBI agents chasing aliens. Oh, that ain't gonna fly.
And then we get the part, but it's only one day, and there's no word of it being a recurring character or anything. It was just going to be a one-off. And so we do that, and off we go. Thanks a lot. Yeah, okay. Never see you again. Whatever.
And then 3 or 4 months later, my agent phoned me and said, "They want you back on the X-Files. Apparently you're popular on the internet."
And because the Lone Gunmen were on the internet and sort of playing, real folks, at that time there was the internet news group, and all the fans started going, "Hey, look, the writers and producers are obviously lurking on our site because they wrote characters that match us, and isn't that cool? And man, they should bring them back." And so the writers and the producers start bringing us back, and it feeds on itself. And so it was really the fans that supported the Lone Gunmen into becoming recurring characters.
Fan input is definitely used, especially in a show like this where they actually do troll a lot of the online groups. For example, people complained online for a long, long time about why Scully never drove. So they did in the episode Syzygy, where she has the comment, "How come you never let me drive?" And it's a guy thing, and he says, "No, it's because I'm always afraid your little feet won't reach the pedals." That was a direct response.
One of the things about being online is that it's possible that Chris Carter will listen in sometime. That might make it being online just a little extra exciting. You never know. I've got this great idea for a story for the X-Files. Maybe someone will listen.
Rumor has it that Chris Carter does log in and check out some of the sites, and he has a way of listening or having a pulse on what the fans want to hear or want to see.
It really hasn't had a direct effect. I've never taken a story off the internet, but I listen to what people say, and it's immediate feedback. So you listen to their responses, you see what people like, and it can't help but affect you in some way.
We think they pay attention to us because there's things that we see in the episodes that they could only think of if they were monitoring our news group, comparing Mulder and Scully to Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And so for a long time, those were nicknames that people used for them on the news group: Mulder and Scully, Moose and Squirrel. And eventually, which episode was it? Never Again. Scully makes some joke about the Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
Yeah.
And, they actually say, Moose and Squirrel. And we're all pointing at the TV and oh my gosh, I got that from the news group.
We know that.
My reaction would be, if you put up an idea on the net and they use it for the show, wouldn't there be sort of a copyright thing there? It might be a little dicey. It's probably not a good idea.
I don't know that there's a single person at the X-Files that is not on the internet, especially on Sunday nights, looking and listening for a fan reaction.
I think it's the first show where the writers and producers and Chris Carter and everybody were wired and were savvy enough that they could see the show from the very beginning and see the feedback off the internet and have the two join together. As the internet grew, so did the ratings.
There's a real sense of participation here by the audience, and they feel like they can sort of help solve, or they're on the same mission almost as Scully and Mulder, that they just want to find the truth. And so in that sense, absolutely, it's much more participatory, probably the most participatory show on television. Shy of, America's Most Wanted, where you pick up the phone and turn in your neighbor.
So I've met some of the finest people I've known in my life through this show, through the internet.
You realize how small the world is, because I've met people from all over, where I never would know people. I'm from Jersey. I don't really travel. I don't have friends that are all over the country or the world, and now I do. It's like they're right there because you talk to them every day.
Yes, I have made a lot of connections with people. I have quite a few friends from there.
We know each other more from not seeing each other ever than we do. As I said, I've been there for 2 years. We just laid eyes on each other 4 hours ago.
Gizzy and I have probably traded more secrets and talked more in depth than I talked to anybody else, probably except for Kay and my best friend.
But we met over the internet.
We met over the internet,
we
and now we
right
are
down the street from each other.
Found out that she worked 5 miles, 2-3 miles down from me.
And there's a lot of really cool personal stories like this, or people that have become good friends online. I have a friend in Australia who I met through the news group. Sent her a couple magazines. We write Canada 2 or 3 times a week.
Well, because it's anonymous, right? You go, wow, that wasn't me. I think that had a lot to do with it, right? It's a chance to express yourself fully about how much you love the show, and as the New Yorker cartoon said, I could go online and no one knows I'm a dog.
Well, yeah, it's like a high-tech way of reaching out and touching someone. I mean, there are other people who go to the expo and stand online for hours just to get a glimpse of Jillian, whatever, but there are other people who go to the locations and where they're filming and everything and try to track them down or whatever. It's really wild.
There's this book called Real Vancouver by, what's the author's name again? Ken McAllister. Ken McIntyre. Mm-hmm.
My name's Ken McIntyre. I wrote a book called Real Vancouver, and it's all about filming locations and the movie industry in Vancouver. There's a big section in Real Vancouver on X-Files locations in particular, which has attracted a lot of attention on the internet from X-Files fans.
This is the location that was used in the episode Squeeze from the first season.
This is the location that doubled as a Washington, D.C. restaurant where Assistant Director Skinner was shot.
This location played an Idaho Trust Company, and it was right in front of it that an invisible elephant rampaged down the street, squishing the cars in its wake.
One fan in particular from Scotland found out about the book before it was even published.
It's amazing. It's worth it. It's worth every penny. Definitely. And we now know Vancouver better than we know our hometown.
It's true.
We've driven up and down every single street looking for big white trucks.
She's been to Vancouver at least 3 or 4 times and usually brings groups of X-Files friends from